The voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Health City, now open at Camana Bay 7 days a week. Optical Outlook, now at their new location in Anderson Square. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. And Lee's Office Products Limited, at Paddington Place, Godfrey Nixon Way, moving your business forward.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome to the Business Buzz. Normally on the Buzz, we put the spotlight on various businesses across the Cayman Islands. However, this morning we will be shifting our focus from business to nonprofit. Our first segment this morning, we will turn that spotlight on Meals on Wheels Cayman Islands and the upcoming Turkey Trot 5K fundraising run walk and Wheels for Meals charity raffle. And our second segment, after the 8 o'clock news, weather, traffic, we'll hear from the Cayman Islands Veterans Association. So, let's welcome our guest from Meals on Wheels. Joining us by way of telephone this morning is Ms. Jennifer West. Jennifer is the General Manager of Meals on Wheels. And in studio with me, all masked up, is Mr. Rob Imperato. Rob is the Chairman of Meals on Wheels. Nice to have you both. Jennifer?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am fine. We have Rob in the studio.
Good morning.
Can you hear us, Jennifer?
Yep, I can hear you. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Jen. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
It's a pity you can't join us this morning. We're having coffee and muffin and just about everything else. No, just kidding.
Wow.
No, we're not. No.
Mimosas.
That's right. No, Jennifer, it's good to have you on the line. And Rob, good morning to you again.
Good morning.
Now, can you give us some background information on Meals on Wheels Cayman Islands and what's the ultimate goal for the program?
We are a nonprofit organization here in Cayman that delivers hot, nutritious meals to the elderly and those in need across Grand Cayman, across all 5 districts. We've done this since 1997, and we've grown exponentially. I've been involved personally since 2013. And our number of recipients has practically doubled since I've been involved. Right now, to give you some numbers, we serve approximately 325 meals, lunches per day to all 5 districts across Grand Cayman, and all done by volunteer base, over 100 volunteers.
Wow. You've increased.
Yes, we have. Yeah,
last time you were here,
we have. Yeah, I remember
something.
last time we were here, we were around 250.
Something like that, 265.
Right,
Yeah.
and the pandemic obviously has had a toll on everybody, especially those who deal with food insecurity, like our seniors. So as a result, we've been able to, through the grant of the community, able to increase our production to 325 per day.
And you have to raise funds to continue with those meals, right?
Yes. Right now, we receive a grant from government, but it only comprises about 18% of our annual budget. So the other 82% is from the public through fundraisers, through generosity of one-off donations, and our events like Turkey Trot, which we'll talk about later.
That's why you're here.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble. So if you can run, walk, waddle, I like that.
Wobble, limp, crawl, fly.
That's fly. Forgot about flying. Yep. So you're having the Turkey Trot 5K fun run walk on Saturday, November 20th. Yes. Now, can you give us some, we'll just jump right into it, Rob.
Sure, of course.
Well, can you give us some registration details, such as how to register, the various categories, what is included, the cost, the fun?
Yep. I'll let Jen jump in also if I miss anything. But the basic details of this, it's on Saturday, November 20th, our 6th annual Turkey Trot 5K Fun Run. It's a run walk. in South Sound. The starting and ending point are Grand Old House at 6 a.m. on Saturday, November 20th. All ages are welcome. Registration, I'll get to the costs in a minute, but you get a T-shirt, medals, trophies are being awarded for various categories, and raffle prizes, and prizes for each running category. The costs are $25 for adults, $20 CI for juniors, meaning ages 11 to 17, $15 for children ages 4 to 10. You can register online through, sorry, I can't find it, raceroster.com.
Okay.
Is that right, Jen?
Yep, it is correct. Or you can go, it's much easier to go directly to our website, mealsonwheels.ky, and you can find the link directly there or from our social media pages. But you can also register at Race Roster and you look up Meals on Wheels Turkey Draw and it'll take you directly to the registration page. You can register for multiple people at the same time, different age divisions, and it's a really easy process.
Okay. So when and what time can those people, those registrants, pick up their Turkey Trot T-shirt?
Once again, the Westin has been extremely generous to us this year, so we have packet pickup happening on November 17th and 18th at the Galleon Ballroom at the Westin. So on the 17th, we'll be there from 12 until 6, and then on the 18th, people can pick up from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And once you're registered, we'll definitely be sending out more information closer to packet pickup and race day, because we also, obviously, with the current situation, we have extra protocols for safety in place for both pickup and the race. So we just want to make sure that everyone knows that we will be keeping everyone safe.
Okay, that's good to know, Jennifer. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Business Buzz. This is our first segment, and we have on this morning, we put in the spotlight on Meals on Wheels, Cayman Islands. In the studio joining me is the chairman of Meals on Wheels, Mr. Rob Imperato, and joining us by way of telephone is Ms. Jennifer West. She's the general manager of Meals on Wheels. Now, we didn't have Turkey Trot last year, right?
We did.
We did.
We did last year.
You were in the studio.
It was, yes,
Yeah.
right,
That's
yeah.
right,
It was
that's
the
right.
first year at Grand Old House, and we found it was a great location. Obviously, they have a huge parking lot, and this year we're able to spread out on the deck at Grand Old House. So obviously, there are regulations about the number of people who can attend the gathering, so people are understandably concerned about COVID and spreading out, but we'll have plenty of space and obviously a beautiful setting.
Okay. So you start at 6 from the Grand Old House.
Correct.
Is that start time for everybody, all age groups, or just the
I
adults?
believe it's all the same time. Is that right, Jen?
Yes, everybody's going to start at the same time. We are limiting numbers rather than doing staggered times.
Okay.
So we'll have runners to the front and walkers and waddlers at the back. But yes, we'll have everybody spread out, and everyone will start at the same time. But we are limiting numbers overall so that we're not having to do staggered time, and then we can all enjoy the awards and breakfast on the deck at the same time afterwards.
Okay, sounds nice. Now, you start at 6 from Grand Old House, and where does the route take you?
The route takes you up South Church Street past Dart Park, down Melmac Avenue, and then you turn at Melmac Avenue to come down Walker's Road, and then in the front of Ms. Lass's house, you take South Church Street back up past Miss Bacadere, and then we end at Grand Old House again, and we will be doing breakfast and awards on the deck.
Nice. So, and that breakfast is part of your registration, right?
That is correct. So it's a complimentary continental breakfast, and once again this year, because of extra safety protocols, will be kind of a grab and go style, so everybody can grab what they need, and we'll have a seat at one of the tables that will be spread out. The deck can hold up to 400 people, and we are limiting our numbers, so we'll definitely have more than enough space for everyone to spread out. And even though we're limiting our numbers, we do have a goal to raise at least $31,000, which is about what it takes for us to feed our seniors for a month. And we have a really good head start already on that, thanks to our sponsors. Davenport has jumped in once again as an amazing gold sponsor this year, as well as Mac Alpine and Stepping Stone. And the registration and additional donations help us towards that goal, but that's how much it takes for us every single month to feed our seniors.
That's an awesome lot of money, $31,000 per month. Wow. Now, will there be a variety of spot prizes up for grabs? And we're hearing that there's a special prize and trophy that will be awarded. Can you tell us more?
Yes, we have raffle prizes, everything from gift certificates to jewelry items, experiences. So we have prizes for division winners, but not everybody is a runner. So we keep the raffle prize going so that everybody has a chance to win. We even have raffle prizes for in a separate section for the children to make sure that they can earn some kiddie prizes as well. And our favorite, I think, Rob is not allowed, but if he were allowed, he would probably win the best dressed turkey trotter every year. But we have had some great participation for people just putting on their orange feathers and their turkey hats and their pilgrim costumes. So we encourage people to just come. This is a fun event for the entire family. So whether you dress up your children or your puppy, we've had people come in wagons before. We just encourage people to get into the spirit of thankfulness. This is, Turkey Trot is right around the Thanksgiving season for both the U.S. and here in Cayman as well. So we definitely want to recognize all of those who get into the spirit, and we do have a trophy and a special prize for the winner of that section this year as well.
All right, before we go to break, Jennifer or Rob, you might want to thank your sponsors again. So this is your opportunity, because I know it takes a lot to put this together. Plus, you have sponsors throughout the year, individuals and corporate sponsors. So if you'll just use the time to say thanks.
Oh, yes, exactly. Thanks very much. As Jim mentioned, we have some great sponsors for this event. Davenport, Stepping Stones, Butterfield has jumped in for us. We've had other sponsors throughout the year. We had a gala back in May. Rum Point Club was a great sponsor for us. Dolphin Point Club and Caribbean Club especially as well. Cayman National Bank has been great to us. Too many to really count. Jen, if I'm missing anybody big, please jump in.
Well, for a turkey trot, I would like to specifically thank our breakfast and our water stop sponsors. So Kirk Supermarket, Progressive, Cafe del Sol, who they're amazing. They bring us awesome coffee at the crack of dawn.
And I also want to jump in and thank our individual sponsors, too. Those who come in every day. And again, there are too many to count, and we here all day. But not just the corporate sponsors, but people who just give $5 or $100. We get emails every week saying, okay, Meals on Wheels, our employees had a fundraising drive within the office. Here's $100 or $1,000. I get called every week to do photo ops, which I'm glad to do, obviously. It's part of what my job is. And so we want to thank everybody out there, especially small businesses and individuals, for the support of Meals on Wheels and what we do.
All right. Well, moving from that to volunteers. Jennifer, do you need any more volunteers for the Turkey Trot this year?
We are always in need of volunteers. Again, because our numbers are limited this year, we're also limited in the number of volunteers, but we still need road marshals and people to help us along the route to make sure we've cleaned up at the end and help serve. We need some extra help at the finish line as we, try to spread out who's handing out medals and just our spacing. So anybody interested in volunteering for the Turkey Trot can send an email to volunteer@mealsonwheels.ky, or you can jump onto our website and fill out the volunteer application form, and just specifically say that you want to help the Turkey Trot, or there are lots of ways you can volunteer with Meals on Wheels every day throughout the year, and just let us know what your interest is. But we're always looking for volunteers for events, and also especially to deliver meals to our seniors.
Now, you normally have how many events per year, Rob?
We have 4. We have our Turkey Trot and our gala in the spring, our coin drive into winter, and we just recently had our dress down day in September.
Okay, so you have a new event this year?
The new event will be the Wheels for Meals charity raffle.
Oh, I call it new.
Yeah.
It's new for me.
Yeah, exactly. It is new. Actually, it is new for us, too.
Wheels for Meals charity raffle.
Right.
Okay, we'll talk about that when we come back from the break. Susan, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue discussing with Meals on Wheels Cayman Islands. I want to say thanks to our sponsors, Cayman Insurance Center, Cayman Medical Supplies, and Optical Outlook.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Maxine Goulburn, Certificate of Honor, 1924-2001. Maxine Goulburn was the fourth child of Edred and Fenbean Banks. She was baptized in 1935 and at the age of 11 became a member of the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church. After completing her primary education at Georgetown Primary School, she matriculated at Kingsway Academy High School in Jamaica and completed her studies at Northeastern Academy in New York. In 1963, she graduated from New York International College of Business with an associate degree in business administration. The following year, she was hired as secretary/treasurer of the West Indies Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, continuing in that position until 1977. In 1977, she was appointed executive secretary, a position she held until her retirement in 1990. Maxine married Lee Goulburn in the early 1970s, and they adopted a daughter, Latanya. The Cayman Islands Conference has honored her memory with the building of the Maxine Goulburn Youth and Community Center in Newlands.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza 2021 tickets are here. Get your $25 ticket and stand a chance to win the grand prize of $40,000, second prize $4,000, and 6 $1,000 prizes. The Music Extravaganza music event, Saturday, November 27th at Salty's Grand Harbor, featuring CNB, Deja Blue, the Fabulous 68s. Tickets now on sale by Rotary members, authorized ticket sellers, and at eventpro.ky. 26 years of Rotary Music Extravaganza, funding over 70 community projects of significance since 1995. Rotary Central, Cayman Islands. Registered not-for-profit number 232. Rotary Central. Serve to change lives.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates.
Now open on the sister island, Brack Medical Supplies. Located at 403 Gerard Smith Avenue, next to the Alexander Hotel. Open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Telephone number 948-2228. Brack Medical Supplies.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
It's 10 minutes until 8 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. In the studio, we're speaking with Mr. Rob Imperato. Rob is the chairman of Meals on Wheels Cayman Islands. And on the telephone, hopefully she's still there, is Ms. Jennifer West. Jennifer is the general manager of Meals on Wheels. Jennifer?
Good morning. I'm still here.
I'm glad you didn't leave us. You didn't fly away or something, right? Now, we talked about the Meals on Wheels Turkey Trot 5K coming up on November 20th. Now, Wheels for Meals, the charity raffle. This is art donated by the renowned artist Jason Kennedy, and he's also give for the raffle a Mercedes-Benz.
Correct.
Correct.
The 2006 Mercedes-Benz.
Nice. Very nice. So let's talk about that. When it's going to be a raffle.
It's a raffle, yes, yes. So Jason came to us and said he's donating a vehicle, and he has a new series of artwork coming out, and he's doing a show in later November. And so he's very kindly offered to donate a piece from his new collection and his wonderful vehicle to Meals on Wheels for a raffle. And so tickets are $25 each, and if you're the lucky winner, you win both the car and the art piece.
Nice.
So I'll talk a little bit about Jason and the art itself first. Jason's been here for at least 15 years, maybe even longer. Jason, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I may have said the numbers wrong. But he's a great, wonderful artist, very talented artist. And so his new series is called Salt. And SALT, right. And it depicts the connection between the sea and the residents of Cayman. As he puts it, each painting invokes a unique emotion from exhilaration to peace. He has a variety of square paintings and rectangles, all originals and prints. He's giving us a print, the limited edition print from his piece called Solitude Resilience. And it is painted with acrylics washed with seawater from 7 Mile Beach. And
okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
So if you go on our Facebook page, our social media, you can see for yourself the piece that he's donating. It's a beautiful piece. It'll look great in any office or any home. So I hope I win the raffle.
That
so
would look nice in my
put it in my place. Yeah. So anyway, so moving on to the raffle itself. Tickets are available now for $25 each. We'll get to where you can buy those shortly. But the drawing is on December 15th. So you've got just over a month now to buy your tickets. There is a showing. Jason's having an exhibition for his artwork at the Mercedes-Benz showroom in Industrial Park on Friday, November 19th from 5 to 9 p.m. So you'll be able to buy raffle tickets at the showing, and you'll be able to see the print for yourself on display at the show, along with the car.
The car will be in the show.
Yes. The car will. Yes, it will. Yes.
Just don't mistake a new car for Jason's.
Right, and this show, and it's important for me to say, this exhibition is also free to the public, no admission fee, open to the public, and be valet parking and refreshments.
And that's the only place that the raffle tickets will be on sale?
No, you can buy tickets also currently at the places, for example, Winner's Circle, The Bird, Peppers, Baccarat, Bevy, and Steak Social. And also from anybody at Meals on Wheels. We all have.
As well.
I'm sorry, Jen?
We can also get tickets at Sing's Roadie Shop or by calling the Meals on Wheels office.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. Sing's Roadie Shop, and also by calling Meals on Wheels at 769-1974.
Okay. Now that sounds. Oh man, $25. That's a good price.
It is. It's a great price. Exactly.
It's a good price to. Win a 2000. You said it's a 2006.
2006. Okay. Right.
Mercedes-Benz. Nice.
It's in excellent condition. Spotless. It looks beautiful. Low mileage.
So, folks, make sure you get your raffle ticket and support Meals on Wheels. And at the same time, you get a chance. If you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance, right?
Correct. That's right. Rob? That's right. Buy early, buy often. That's right.
Okay. Now,
100% of the raffle ticket goes towards Meals on Wheels. Jason has been incredibly generous to work with us on this event. And so people can know that for every ticket that they purchase, they are feeding a senior for a week.
Nice. Very nice. Now, speaking about meals, Jennifer and Rob, how many meals does Meals on Wheels deliver? You said 320...
325 per day, 5 days per week.
Okay. And you're currently you're serving Georgetown and West Bay, East End, North Side, and Buddentown.
Correct.
Any plans for any other area?
Not at this time. No, we're focusing right now for Grand Cayman.
This is Grand Cayman. Okay, Grand Cayman. Okay. Now, we're running out of time. Can you recap on the main points surrounding the turkey trot, the walk run, and of course, the Wheels for Meals charity raffle?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So the turkey trot again is Saturday, November 20th, 6 a.m. at Grand Old House. You buy your tickets online through mealsonwheels.ky or through social media or raceroster.com. Tickets are $25 CI per adults, $20 for juniors 11 to 17, and $15 for ages 4 to 10. This year it's a 5K fun run. So we will have prizes and trophies for finishers and also for best dressed. It's a family-friendly event, so all ages are welcome. And 6 a.m. on November 20th at Grand Old House. Okay. And we obviously we're seeking people to buy tickets as well as volunteers.
Okay. And then you have your Wheels for Meals charity raffle.
Yes, the raffle again. It also is $25 per ticket for a 2006 Mercedes-Benz and a limited edition Jason Kennedy print. The raffle itself, the drawing, is December 15th. But you can buy your tickets now at Winner's Circle and a variety of other places, also through mealsonwheels.ky, or email us at info@mealsonwheels.com. I'm sorry, .ky, so .ky. And there's also a showing on November 19th where you can see the car and see the artwork for itself and buy tickets there too.
Okay. Jennifer, the last time you were in the studio, I remember you said that you had some listeners. When you went back to your office, they dropped off eggs, and you had, people donating stuff to Meals on Wheels. You want to put out a little appeal this morning?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that reminder. We deliver hot meals every day, but since the pandemic started last year, we have also been delivering groceries to the seniors who are unable to get to the grocery store themselves. We have had incredible support from the community. Eggs had been donated every single week from Farm Select out in East End, where we were getting 300 dozen eggs per week for our seniors in the kitchens. Unfortunately, the chickens have kind of gone on vacation. Anybody's chickens are alive and awake. We're always happy to accept fresh produce to one of our kitchens. Again, you can reach out directly to our office. However, any non-perishable items that we can use to supplement the groceries that we send to our seniors, BuySmart has been so kind as to have a permanent food community drive container there for us. So anytime that BuySmart in Galleria Plaza is open, you can drop off any healthy, non-expired, non-perishable items to us, and we really appreciate the people that have already just been dropping off items. You can purchase items in store at BuySmart or at any place around the island. But again, we're working with seniors, so we're trying to provide them with healthy, dietary-friendly goods, and we'll have a list there as well. There's information on our website as well about how you can do that. And if anybody wants to donate fresh products, then we're also welcome those directly to our kitchens by contacting us via email or via telephone 769-1974 or info@mealsonwheels.ky.
Okay. Anything else you want to leave, Rob? You didn't forget anything, right?
I did not. No, I don't think so. I just want to thank you again for having us, Nita. And thanks for the time.
Susan did all the
Susan
hard
as
work.
well. Thank you. Thanks for Radio Cayman for having us on this morning, and thanks to our sponsors and our volunteers who make Turkey Trot successful every year. I'm looking forward to another great year, and thanks to everybody who makes Meals on Wheels. What it is for the community.
All right, Jennifer, thank you so much for calling in. Next time we'll have you in the studio, hopefully.
Thanks for having us.
And Rob, thanks for being here. Thank you for
you.
chatting with us on the Business Buzz about Meals on Wheels, a Turkey Trot 5K walk run, and also about Wheels from Meals. I like that. We wish you all the best with your events, and please stay tuned for a time check and Radio Cayman's news. After that, after the traffic report, we'll be back with segment 2 of The Buzz, when we'll be speaking with members of the Cayman Islands Veterans Associations.
Thank you, Anita. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
For Thanksgiving, are you thinking roast turkey or glazed ham?
Ooh, let's go turkey.
Great. Now for sides, let's do scalloped potatoes, mac and cheese, and steamed herb vegetables.
Yum.
And for dessert, should we go apple or pumpkin pie?
Pumpkin for sure. But when will you have the time to cook this feast?
Oh, I won't be cooking. I'm ordering a holiday dinner from Foster's. They start from just $79.99 and are easy to order online. Just head to fosters.ky.
Easy, delicious Thanksgiving holiday dinners only from Foster's.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
Do you know how well your pension plan performed? Attend the Chamber Pension Plan's annual general meeting to stay informed and find out how you can achieve your desired retirement lifestyle. Members are invited to meet our trustees and take part in our question and answers segment on 1st December 2021 at 6:30 p.m. at the Chamber of Commerce Boardroom in Governors Square. Refreshments will be served. Please visit our website chamberpension.ky or email admin@pensions.ky for further details. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. The Department of Environmental Health is urging residents in the Georgetown District to prepare their bulk waste on the curbside this week, now through November 13th, to ensure timely and efficient collections. DEH Director Richard Sims says the bulk waste should be in an area that's easily accessible to DEH collection crews and doesn't obstruct the roadway.
We want to continue to encourage residents to separate their waste and remember that this is a vegetation-only collection exercise.
Bulk waste refers to large items such as old furniture, mattresses, rugs, household appliances, carpeting, scrap metal, and vegetative waste, along with other items that are not normally picked up by DEH's weekly residential pickup services. DEH says it will not be picking up any items that are put out after the scheduled date. The Central Caribbean Marine Institute has provided a snapshot of data demonstrating the impact of their research, conservation, and education outreach, resulting in 45 square meters of coral outplanted to the wild and more than 100 published scientific papers. More than 100 visiting scientists have also been welcomed to the facility, and 1,500 kilometers of coral growth has been seen. CCMI has also distributed more than 1,500 local scholarships, reaching audiences over 200,000 with Reefs Go Live as well. They've also invested millions of dollars in field research every year. Scotiabank Cayman has expanded its customer support service with the launch of a 24/7 contact center. The bank says the expansion will enhance, quote, reduce wait times for callers and bolster the bank's ability to service customers. An anticipated 31,000 calls are expected to be handled by the enhanced operations annually. The University College of the Cayman Islands gets a new website. The upgraded site's address remains the same, ucci.edu.ky, but it is now, quote, more user-friendly. It offers better program exposure, easier search and explore options, and a, quote, aesthetic upgrade. In addition to programs like the Professional Development Center, the STEM Carib Conference, and more can be accessed on the site rather than individual websites. In regional news, crafts vendors are returning to the streets. Transport between provinces is gradually returning to normal, and crowds have once again began to line the seafront as night falls over the Cuban capital. The bustle of the Caribbean nation is gradually rebounding after 20 months of pandemic restrictions, with a key moment set to occur November 15th with the start of fully opening of the airports, gateways to a tourism industry that feeds thousands of families. A significant decrease in infections and mortality caused by the virus has followed an inoculation campaign with 3 locally developed vaccines, even if some fear the reopening could bring a resurgence of COVID-19. So far, Cuba has registered almost 1 million infections of the coronavirus and more than 8,200 deaths, according to the Ministry of Health. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The European Union has warned it will impose additional sanctions on Belarus because of its treatment of migrants at the border with Poland. The European Commission also said it was monitoring flights to Belarus from more than 20 countries. As efforts continue to mediate an end to the war in Ethiopia, a senior UN official has said no aid trucks have reached the capital of the Tigray region since mid-October. 7 million people are urgently in need of food assistance. Israeli police say they have arrested 65 suspected arms dealers in the Arab community. The raid took place across Israel and the West Bank. Officers recovered semi-automatic M16 rifles and an anti-tank missile. South Korea is to send a military aircraft to Australia to collect thousands of litres of a desperately needed chemical solution vital to the country's economy. Shortages of the additive used in diesel engines to reduce air pollution are threatening both transport and industry. There's been panic buying. Burials are taking place in Niger for 26 children who died when a fire broke out at their school in the southern city of Maradi. The victims were aged between 3 and 8. It's not clear what caused the fire, which engulfed the straw-roofed wooden classrooms. A Serbian human rights organisation is starting legal action against the country's government after it was banned from painting over a mural of a Bosnian Serb war criminal. The Youth Initiative for Human Rights had been hoping to mark today's International Anti-Fascism Day by painting over the depiction of General Ratko Mladic. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
Do you know how well your pension plan performed? Attend the Chamber Pension Plan's annual general meeting to stay informed and find out how you can achieve your desired retirement lifestyle. Members are invited to meet our trustees and take part in our question and answers segment on 1st December 2021 at 6:30 p.m. at the Chamber of Commerce Boardroom in Governors Square. Refreshments will be served. Please visit our website chamberpension.ky or email admin@pensions.ky for further details. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Dreaming of a great career or degree? The Caribbean Examinations Council offers regionally and internationally recognized qualifications to help you get there. These include the Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence, CCSLC, the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, CVQ, Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, and the CXC Associate Degree. These exams may be done while in school or out of school at private learning institutions. Visit cxc.org to learn more. With CXC, you're in control.
Do you want to serve your community? How about learning new and exciting skills? The Cayman Islands Regiment is now accepting applications for volunteers. Caymanian and permanent resident applicants should be between 18 and 50 with a clean police record. No military experience is required. Apply online at www.gov.ky/CI Regiment. Applications close on November 15th, 2021.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 81 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure is 30.01 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-northeast at 10 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate northeasterly winds and seas are expected today as a stationary front lingers over Jamaica and weekends. Residual moisture from the dissipated front is expected to move back into the Cayman area from Wednesday morning, increasing our chances of showers. Satellite imagery show mainly mid-level clouds over the northwest Caribbean and some thunderstorms noted southwest of Jamaica. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 30% chance of afternoon showers, and temperatures will be in the low 80s. Winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 knots and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tonight pretty much the same, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures falling to the low 70s tonight. Winds will be northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Today's high tide will occur this afternoon at 2:13, low tide again tonight at 8:59. The sun will set this evening at 5:47 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:32. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, tell a friend. Having an accountability partner is often helpful in achieving your goals. Let your parents and partner know what you are planning or doing. Sharing with others also helps us to develop the ideas and our vision. Writing down your goals can help to solidify them for you and help you to stay accountable.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Top of the morning to you once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Heavy traffic coming from the east, especially as you approach the Linford-Pearson Highway, and busy traffic coming off of the Linford-Pearson Highway on Agnes Way as well. And traffic is busy coming from the east on Crew Road, and moderate flow of traffic on Crew Road heading east. Steady traffic on Huldah Avenue, and continuing on to Elgin Avenue. Traffic is moderate. Moderate flow of traffic coming from the West Bay four-way stop, and traffic is steady but flowing on the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, and traffic flowing at a good pace on Shedden Road. And that's the very latest on the traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Click it or ticket. Have a good morning.
Are you planning a social, an office party, or event over the holiday season? Make the most of your holiday party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go, with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your holiday parties with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is our second segment for this morning, and as promised, we'll be speaking with the folks from the Cayman Islands Veterans Association. We put the spotlight on CIVA as we learn more about the organization. It's a pleasure to have in the studio Mr. Loxley Banks. Mr. Loxley is a retiree from the United States Air Force, and he served from 1956 to 1960. And by way of telephone, we have the Cayman Islands Veteran Association President, retired Master Sergeant Mr. Andrew McLaughlin of the U.S. Marine Corps. He served for 22 years and 1 month. And also joining us by way of telephone is CIVA Vice President, Mr. Paul E. Banks, a veteran who served in the British Army. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Ms. Anita, and thank you for having us.
Thank you for, we miss you in the studio. Andrew, thank you for hanging us on the line this morning with us. We've got Mr. Banks in the studio. And Paul, good morning to you as well.
Yes, good morning to you. And just to make a quick correction, Her Majesty's Royal Marines, not the Army.
Okay, thank you for that. Her Majesty's Royal Army.
And we're also going to have
Sydney, and Mr. Sydney's from Cayman Brac.
And he's a U.S. Air Force retired veteran.
Okay, now we've got that settled. Can you give us some details with regards to the Cayman Islands Veterans Association and the association's main goal? I'm not sure who's going to take that one, Andrew or Mr. Banks?
I think, Andrew, you take it.
Okay. The Cayman Islands Veterans Association is a charitable, non-profit organization, and we seek to ensure that all ex-servicemen or women in the Cayman Islands has someone whom they can turn to for help when they need it. We also make sure that no one ever forgets the sacrifice of all those soldiers that did make it home in pursuit of freedom.
Okay, now, I got so many questions for everybody this morning. Now, Mr. Banks, you've got the studio all set up with your puppy and the puppy bucket, collection bucket, and just about everything. Looks really nice. And if you, I mean, the listeners can see, but those viewing us on YouTube sure can. Now, Remembrance Day. What does this day mean to you?
Well, I think Remembrance Day is an international day that we remember those folks who stood on the precipice and sacrificed. Some of them gave their lives in defense and preservation of freedom and democracy. And here in the Cayman Islands, with so many freedoms that we have, as the old folks would say, under our armpit, then we ought to remember.
Now, you sure about this, Mr. Banks? Freedom under our armpit.
Well, we got to take it with us wherever we go.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. I'm a little bit slow on that one. Now, each year after the Poppy Appeal, there is a Remembrance Day celebration and a gala to celebrate Cayman's veterans and, of course, their spouses. But this year, will this be happening, Mr. Banks? Are we still going to have the gala, or is it scaled down? Or nothing at all?
There's no gala,
gala.
This year. In fact, we didn't have one last year, and all the what we could call the official ceremonies revolving around Remembrance Day are going to be abbreviated.
Okay.
So,
including the Remembrance Day parade.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what prompted each of you to join? Whether it's the Marine Corps, Her Majesty's Royal Army, and the U.S. Air Force. Let's start with Mr. Paul. Paul?
Yeah, Her Majesty's Royal Marines. I did 9 years service there, from 1968. And it is important that we get the poppies out to the general public. We were at Foster's Airport yesterday, and the amount of people that were so happy to see the poppies out. So we'll be back there on Wednesday and Thursday. So come on down, come on out, come on in, wherever you may be, and wear your poppy with pride.
Okay.
That's the remembrance indicator.
That's right. Now, Mr. Banks, what prompted you to join the U.S. Marine Corps? No, where were you? The U.S. Air Force.
U.S. Air Force, yeah.
U.S. Air Force.
Well, when basically when I finished high school, I knew I had a military commitment, and I worked in a shipyard on some ships and so forth and so on. Basically, I decided that I want to get this military commitment over. So, and I really intended to go in the Navy, but and back in those days, the recruiting office was usually located in the main post office in the cities, and this was in Miami. And I went down, and the first office that I went into was the Naval Recruiting Office. But there was a line in there, and I said, I don't think I want to hang around here too long. And so I walked into the Air Force recruiting office. And, I got tended to right away. And before I got out of there, they had me signed up. And they want to send me off. They want to send me off in 2 days. I said, oh, no. I'm not going in 2 days. I said, you can set me up for 2 weeks, because I was working at Miami Shipbuilding and all that kind of stuff. I said, I need to give these folks at least a week's notice that I'm, not going to be there anymore. So that was it. And plus, in the background was a kind of, what would I want to call it? I'd call it at this point a mutual relationship that I had with a beautiful Caymanian lady, and she couldn't seem to make up her mind. I said, well, let me fly away.
Oh, my goodness. So, Mr. Banks, how, without giving away your age, well, we know Second World War when it happened, but how old were you at the time?
When I enlisted, let's see, I was 18 years old, just past 18.
Oh, wow. And your parents let you make a decision like that?
Yes, yes. My father, he was a seaman, and he had been in the war in the Pacific, World War II. And he always, he said, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I want to let you know, and I want you to know that sea life is a rough life. Mm-hmm. So, but still I was following, a more or less a naval career. I as all Caymanians of my era, men, boys, we always thought of standing on a bridge with one of those high-pressure white caps.
Well, you sure did. Now, let's go to Andrew. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
What prompted you to join the U.S. Marine Corps?
Well, if you ask my dad, as McLaughlin, most of the men in my family served in Merchant Marines, and if you ask my dad, he'd probably tell you I just got in the wrong line when I heard Marine. But truly, I tried junior college a little while and just wasn't ready to sit down and read more books. I wanted to see the world, like that blood you got from a Merchant Marine. They got to travel all over the world, so I wanted to travel the world and save money for college. And after my first 4 years, I found, the esprit de corps in the Marine Corps, and decided that was definitely the life for me.
Okay. Now, Mr. Paul, I come back to you. What prompted you to join?
Well, I did a year at sea and sort of made a contact with the Holborn office in London. I had to make my own way over to London, which was a journey that, I could still remember. And I remember the taxi driver in a very London accent saying, "Oh, blimey, say it's hot, where you come from?" But yes, I wanted to join up. I just had this good feeling of, this is something I wanted to do. And I signed up, and I joined actually in February 1968 and did 9 years service. I spent a year and a half in the Far East, in NATO Southern Flank. I also did several tours of duty in Northern Ireland, as it was. Spent times on ships. And I was very lucky, actually, that while I was doing my commando course in Livingston in 1968, His Royal Highness Prince Charles was doing his commando course because he was going to be a top pilot. So that was a good excitement there to see him doing his training. And I actually served in Carrier with the Red Dragon flight, which was what was his helicopter.
Okay, and after all those years, Mr. Paul, how do you think this helped to shape you to the person you are today, the man you are, the man that Mr. Banks and Andrew know today? Are you there?
Hello?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you say that again?
No, I was just asking you, how is all this military training help you to shape you to be the person that you are today, the man that you are today?
Oh, it is. It disciplines you.
Mm-hmm.
And discipline to me is the greatest asset that any individual, family, or group of individuals can have. Because what it does is it allows you to face all the hardships that actually come at you. It doesn't stop them from coming at you, but it helps you to face them and to deal with them. And today's world, there are lots of hardships that are going to come at you.
Yes, sir. Well, we're glad you're doing well and you survived it all. Now, Andrew, how about you? How has this shaped you to be the person that you are today in your civilian life?
Well, along with what Paul just said about discipline, I also count on the leadership. You can hire a person to do a job, but if you have the correct leadership skills, you can inspire people to do so much more and make so much more of themselves than they ever believed possible. So I would say the leadership was the strongest thing that I took away from the military, leadership skills. Okay. Yeah.
Do you write, Andrew?
No.
Okay. I saw an Andrew McLaughlin somewhere. I was doing some research and I thought that was you. Mr. Banks, how did this shape you?
Well, again, you refer back to the discipline of the military, and you get a good grounding, and it's a great place to sort of try out your the skills that you think you have, and they have their opinions about this, and they have their opinions about what skills you have, and they will point you in certain directions. And actually, they was going to point me initially to be a motion picture laboratory technician, but somehow, that didn't really come to fruition, and I went on to do radio, Armed Forces Radio, and a lot of other things, missiles, and all of these things. So it plays a great role in shaping your future, and that is if you get the right training. You've got the right training, and and believe you me, if you scrub a 2-story 40 by 60 building with your toothbrush a couple of times, it puts you in the right mode.
Is that what you had to do, Mr. Wicks?
Yes.
So it wasn't that glorious then, right?
No.
As most people would think.
I tell you, I'll just poke this in. The second day after I arrived at Lackland Air Force Base, it might have been the third day evening, they sat us all out on the lawn, and they went through a lot of procedures, so forth, so on, and they said, and it was a Saturday night, I remember, and they said, and tonight we're going to have a party. And I thought to myself, this don't sound too bad. and then they came along with the toothbrush.
I love it. Oh, that was some party, Mr. Wicks.
Yeah, it was a party.
Okay, at this time we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Mr. Paulie Banks. He's on the phone. Also, Andrew McLaughlin. And in the studio, Mr. Banks, all Cayman Islands Veteran Association.
And we'll be joining Sydney.
We'll be joining Sydney. Can't forget Sydney. We'll be joining Sydney.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Did you know you must ensure all utensils are washed with detergent and rinsed with hot water if they make contact with flood water? For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky. Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. In the studio from the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, we have the President, retired Master Sergeant Mr. Andrew McLaughlin of the U.S. Marine Corps, the association's Vice President, Mr. Paulie Banks. Mr. Paul served in Her Majesty's Royal Marines, and we have our own Mr. Loxley Banks, a retiree from the United States Air Force, and he served from 1956 to 1960. Mr. Banks, you served, I wasn't even an embryo yet.
Well, yeah, that's it. And don't forget, we got Sydney coming up from the Brighton. Sydney is, I think, a 30 or 31-year-old or 31-year U.S. Air Force veteran.
Very nice. Now, at this time, we've got we've got Andrew and Paul on the phone still, but we're going to introduce a.
Well, I think Paul. I think Paul is going to have to leave us.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Paul, you want to say anything before you leave us?
Yeah, I'd like to say that we were at Foster's Airport with the Papas yesterday, and we will be back on Wednesday and Thursday. So come on down, or come on in, or come on out and get your puppy and we'll with pride.
Okay, sir. Well, you please have a safe and wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Susan, we're going to take that cut from Mr. Banks from his Wattle Vault pertaining to Caymanians' contributions to the war effort.
Yes, I remember when war was declared. Of course, we had been kept informed of the conditions in Europe, and I suppose many of us expected this. And it was very exciting to all of us when we learned that war had been declared by Britain against Germany. As I remember, there was a notice posted on the post office in West Bay saying that His Majesty's government had advised our commissioner here that a state of war existed between his country and Germany. It was a very daunting experience to sail what they used to call the Western Ocean, that's the North Atlantic, in 1940. I mean, the convoys there, you know, you'd start out with a bunch of ships, and by the time you reached Europe, you know, there were just a few of them left. The days were usually calm and peaceful, but as soon as night came on, the submarines would start.
That's when the activity began.
That's when they started their activity. And you would see ships sinking all around you, you know, tankers blazing on the horizon, and you sort of wondered how long you would last. They sank one ship under me. Fortunately, none of the crew were lost. We all managed to get into the lifeboats, and next day we were picked up by a Norwegian ship. So they took us into Greenock, and that was the end of that voyage there.
Well, you did remark earlier that you embarked on this whole experience with great gusto. Now, you mentioned the German submarines and actually watching things happen, being under attack. Was there a time throughout your experience that you began to waver in your sort of commitment and determination?
No, I don't think so. We just went about our duties as if, you know, every day we did what we had to do and went along. And I never witnessed any fear on those ships. Everybody seemed to be fearless, well committed to the job at hand.
And your route, you always plied the North Atlantic at the start of this thing?
Yes, mostly in the North Atlantic. My first trip out of Britain really was into the Mediterranean to Marseille, where we were caught in the air raids. That was just before the fall of France. And actually we evacuated British troops from there who had been chased all across France by the Germans.
The voice there of the late Mr. Cavell Glidden, whose ship during World War II, while sailing under the British Maritime Military Command, was torpedoed in the Atlantic Ocean, was rescued and taken to Greenock, England. He then joined the British Army and served in North Africa under Field Marshal General Montgomery until the end of the war.
Mr. Banks, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, well, you know, quite a military career there. You know, can you imagine getting torpedoed in the middle of the Atlantic, getting rescued, and then proceeding to join the Royal British Army? And he fought in North Africa along with General Montgomery. And, you know, Cavell came back home, and, you know, some of you might remember him. He operated Capital Traders in the middle of Georgetown. It was a very successful operation, sort of big store for its day. And he was very active in his church and the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, and he was a weather enthusiast. Okay. You know, I think you still hear it on the weather report, the wind is calm. Well, that did not set with him. And every time that came on, just about on our weather report, I'd get a call, or the person who was in the operation room, listen to me, I'm telling you, Lucky, if it's calm, there is no wind. So, I mean, and even though I discussed the terminology with the weather people at the time, which was Mr. Can't forget his name. Anyway, I can't remember his name. He said, well, Oxley, that's terminology.
Well, I'll bear that in mind next time, Susan. Maybe you'll bear that in next time you say the winds are calm.
Yeah, because if the winds are calm, there is no wind.
He's right. I agree with that. And just in case, for those viewers on YouTube, you'll see a photo up on the screen of Mr. Cavell Glidden for you. and that was taken, Mr. Banks, during 1940-44.
Yeah, and that
while he
era.
was in the UK Royal Army. That's his UK Royal Army uniform.
Yes.
It's not a great picture.
Probably
of
the picture might have been taken on the battlefield.
Wow. Okay. Now we're joined by Mr. Sidney E. Banks from Cayman Brac. Good morning, Mr. Sidney.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Glad
How
you
are
can.
you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Glad you can join Andrew and Mr. Banks and who's in the studio today.
Okay, great.
So wasn't able to get much details about you before you came online, Mr. E. Banks. But can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, born and raised at Creek, Cayman Brac, migrated to the States in 1956. Graduated from Boys High School and then joined the Air Force.
Okay, U.S. Air Force.
U.S. Air Force, yes.
So Mr. Banks was your he was your buddy on base?
No. Well, no, he finished high school, I think he said in fifth. No.
Right.
When did you join, Sid?
1963.
Oh, 63. I had been out, and I was just coming out of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know, Mr. Banks, you always talk to me about World War II and stuff, and I never pay attention. I'm sorry, I never paid attention. So I paid attention yesterday. I did some quick research.
Well, it's important. It's important to all us here in Cayman, you know, because as I said, the freedoms and that we run around here under our armpits, you know, it was earned with hard sacrifices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, let's go back to the Remembrance Day, the poppy appeal. What does the red poppy signify?
Andrew, you want to take that?
Yeah, the poppies are there to acknowledge the courage and sacrifice of those who served their country. Freedom wasn't free, and some people made the extreme sacrifice. The reason poppies are used is because they were the flowers which grew on the battlefields after World War I ended. There's a famous poem in Flanders Fields that explains the significance of the poppies, if you have a chance to ever read that.
Yeah, well, that was something I'm not sure whether they have it in the schools or not, but that we had to memorize when I was in school here in Cayman, because I went through what would have been equivalent to actually 12 years of schooling here in Cayman, down at the West Bay Town Hall, under Miss Beulah Smith and Mr. Vernon Jackson and Miss Genevieve and a couple other, Mr. Bonner and a few others.
Okay. Mr. Sidney, we want to involve you in this conversation. Sorry you're not in the studio. Now, who benefits from the annual Poppy Appeal donation? The money that you collect. Andrew?
All veterans and their widows or widowers will benefit from the association's Poppy collection. But we only have two fundraising events. That's the Gala, of course, and the Poppy Appeal. And all the money is spent only in the Cayman Islands. None of it leaves the Cayman Islands. It's there to take care of people who made the sacrifice and joined the Veteran Association, and for any veterans that need assistance from time to time.
Okay. So if an individual would like to buy a poppy, or those corporate entities out there would like to make a donation, how can they reach you?
Well, first off, you can't buy a poppy. The poppies are free, but of course we'll accept a donation if you were inclined to give one, of course. So we have a account at First Caribbean, or you can find the veterans throughout the island shaking the tins, or you can go to the veterans website, www.CaymanIslandsVeterans.org, and there's contact details on how to get a hold of us. This year we're actually challenging businesses to dress down and dress red this Friday. And if you want to donate the monies collected for the Dress Down Day, you can contact us to do that. And we also like to take a picture to reward those people that dressed in red. So if your company wants to dress in red this Friday, please contact us. You can call 916-5317 or 926-5189, and we'll be glad to arrange somebody to come and take a picture of your company in red.
Okay. Now, going back to just elaborate a little bit more on the funds that you raise. How does the fund assist the Cayman Islands Veteran Association to meet some of those financial obligations and, of course, to help those veterans who maybe need help?
Well, you would understand that most of the veterans are an aged community, and they probably did not have an opportunity to participate in a pension program. So they find themselves on hard times because they made plans for retirement in an economy that continues to change and get more expensive. So we assist them with food assistance every month. We also assist with utilities, both electric and water. And we also make grants from time to time in the event that, you know, something like their house was damaged in a storm or they need special equipment due to an illness, anything of that nature.
Okay. So any donation will be accepted, Andrew?
Yes, ma'am. Any donation is accepted and highly appreciated.
Okay. Mr. Banks, you want to add anything to that?
Well, I think Andrew put it in pretty good picture there. The money is, stays in Cayman, and it goes to help veterans and their wives, because, many veterans pass on and leave their wives here and the assistance is also extended to them.
Mr. Sidney, you want to jump in there?
I think that they're going it pretty good for me on what was said by both Loxley and Andrew. So on the BRAC, we don't have that many veterans or here. There's only 4 of us in the BRAC that I can find, and I'm trying to locate anyone that has been into their wives are still alive or the member is still here that was in the Defense Force, so that to find out if they need some assistance, we can help them here.
Okay. Now, Mr. Banks, or Andrew, or Mr. Sidney, can you share a little bit on how Caymanians contributed to the war effort? We heard from the Vault a few minutes ago, but can you add to this? Can you give us a little history of the Trinidad Royal Navy Volunteer Reserve, the Home Guard, and, of course, Fort George? I was reading up about this last night just to make sure I'm in tune with Mr. Banks, Andrew, and Mr. Paul, and even Mr. Sidney. And it's quite interesting. There's a lot on the internet about Caymanians serving in the wars.
Well, I think that shortcut 2.5 minutes that we run with Mr. Calvert-Glidden sort of epitomizes the dedication and perseverance and the sacrifice that Caymanians were willing to make. I mean, he got torpedoed in the middle of the Atlantic. And, there's some vivid stories about these guys facing that kind of challenge. And many of them came back home. We had, I think, 4 German prisoners of war, might have been 5, and then 2 Japanese prisoners of war. I think, to my knowledge, they all got back home. One of them passed away shortly after he came back home. But the treatment that they, got in those concentration camps, and they endured it all, fighting for freedom, and Caymanians made a great sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice to preserve, and I say it again, the freedoms and that we, hold on under our armpit, because we got to hold them. We got to hold on to them here in the Cayman Islands.
The Trinidad Royal.
Just to add what Mr. Loxley said, the Caymanians are still serving.
Yes.
They still serve in the armed forces of both major countries, the UK and the United States.
Yes.
Any Caymanians that have connections to the United States, of course, can join those forces. They serve and they come back with their skills, and they continue to add to society in Cayman.
Yeah, I mean, there's a gentleman from West Bay there. He just was discharged. Well, he got, he was, I got to be careful here. He completed his Army service and was honorably discharged just about 6 months ago. In fact, he was home here about 3 months ago. I spoke with him. E-Banks, I think, what I think the E-Bank's name was changed to, I can't think of it now, but we're going to have him on here sometime, hopefully, because I spoke with him briefly the day before he left.
And I can't believe you forgot his name, Mr. Banks. That's not like you.
Well, it's not an ordinary Caymanian name.
Oh, okay. Now, the Home Guard and Fort George. Can you touch a little bit? I find it so interesting, Mr. Banks and Andrew and Mrs. Sidney. Can you touch a little bit on the Home Guard?
Well, the Home Guard, and, part of that cut that we heard with Calvo Glidden actually was recorded by Doran back in, I think, 1980. He and I recorded that cut back in 1985, 86.
Wow.
And that's from the Wattle Vault, okay?
That's right.
And Doran himself was a member of the Cayman Islands Home Guard. And I believe that at times it might have went up to 150 Caymanians serving in the Home Guard. But normally it probably revolved around 80 to 95, somewhere in that range. But there were stations all around the perimeter of Cayman and Cayman Brac that they had to man, and their primary focus was on trying to observe what was out there on the horizon.
Because you had a lot of submarines out there, in our water.
Yeah, the route going by Cayman here is one of the most densely traveled freighter routes of around. It still is, and there was German submarines all around. So and they had to report that to the little Navy base they had here, because the Navy had two patrol planes. Actually, they were amphibious. They landed in North Sound. That was their main base, and they had depth charges. If they told them they spotted a periscope out here southwest by west, 10 degrees or whatever, they would take off and go there and just drop a lot of depth charges in what they could figure out was that general area. Hopefully that at least it'd scare them off, whether they
But the interesting thing about reading this, Mr. Banks, is that you did not have phones and stuff like that. So the guards from each district had to walk to take the news. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, I think there was some means of radio communication. I think there was, that was, radio was really in its infancy in those days back in World War II, even though for the military it was quite advanced. It hadn't made that transition out into the domestic world.
Okay, and on that note, we have to take a quick break before we end up into 9 o'clock, and no break. Susan? Thank you.
Now open on the sister island, Brac Medical Supplies. Located at 403 Gerard Smith Avenue, next to the Alexander Hotel. Open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Telephone number 948-2228. Brac Medical Supplies.
Stay clean, stay safe, hey man. Reflection sells gallons of sanitizer for only $25. Buy 2 clip-on sanitizers for just $5. Reflections has the best KN95 masks or reusable cloth masks, and you can get 2 for only $5. Blue surgical masks and face shields are available for children and adults, as well as 10 and 50 packs of black surgical masks. Volume discounts available at Reflections, Jose's Rubus, Reflections Hemp and Tobacco, all 5 Liquor for Less locations, and Food for Less, open 24 hours every day. Don't miss the Liquor for Less incredible priced better markdown. Hundreds of fine from $2.99. Cases of ice cold below wholesale prices. Save $10 off liters of absolute exclusively at Liquor for Less. Prices so low we can't say them on the radio.
Join the Cayman Islands National Museum in celebrating their 31st anniversary. Cayman old times are back again.
Cassava cake and cold swanky. That's Cayman.
The Cayman Islands National Museum is pleased to host Look Here, Old Time Days Come Back Again, How We Used to Live. Take a break from 2021 and take a step back into yesteryear. Relive our good old times. Saturday, November 20th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're shutting down Gorin Avenue and Seafarers Way and expect to see all of Cayman there to celebrate. Cayman-style beef, cassava cake, and stew turtle competition in all of our old-time traditions. Platin, rope making, salt fish, making wampas. Bring the kiddos, and don't forget Granny too. Saturday, November 20th, from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Now that's Cayman.
Cassava cake and cold swanky. That's Cayman. A jupina drink and a beef patty. That's Cayman.
Business Boss. Anita Khan.
With just about 5 minutes left on the program this morning, we have on the line Mr. Andrew McLaughlin. Andrew was with the U.S. Marine Corps for 22 years and 1 month. We had before, but he's left us, Mr. Paulie Banks. He was a veteran and he served in Her Majesty's Royal Marines. We have Mr. Sidney E. Banks. Mr. Sidney served with the U.S. Air Force, and he's on the line as well. And Mr. Banks in the studio, he also served with the U.S. Air Force. Mr. Banks, Andrew, and Mr. Sidney. What advice would you give to someone who is aspiring to join the Army or military? Mr. Sidney, let's pick on you.
A great idea. I would advise anyone that wants to join the service to join. It's an experience that you cannot get any other way than by in the service. You have to. They will strip you of what you knew as a civilian, and then lock you into a military way of life that is very, very interesting. It's very travelable. You'll be able to travel around the world. Yes, there may be some conflict somewhere, but I think it would be a great idea. It builds a man out of you.
And I'm pretty sure they're not giving you toothbrushes to scrub anymore.
Well, I don't know. Sidney was in since I was, and also Andrew. I don't know. They can maybe speak a little better to that.
Yeah, I can tell you the U.S. Marines still have a few good toothbrushes.
So, Andrew, give us some advice. Give the young people. We have to get the young people to recognize the sacrifice made for the freedom we all enjoyed today. And we have to continue to educate school children about the contributions of soldiers during the various wars and conflicts. What would you say to those young ones?
I would say to check your family history. Go home and ask mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, who served and what did they do? Because veterans are very clandestine. We don't walk around bragging. If you looked at me on a given day in my normal clothes, you would never know the things that I've done until I jump into that uniform and you see all the medals dangling from my chest. So we're very private. We don't like to brag. We don't think we're heroes. We were doing a job that we volunteered to do. Nobody made us do it. And if you think that you have what it takes to be part of the military, I would suggest you get prepared physically and mentally, because it takes just as much mental aptitude and strength as it does physical.
Okay. Now, will war ever end? Is world peace an impossible dream?
It would almost seem impossible, because every time we think we approach it, somebody else jumps in there and has world domination in their mind. But we can achieve peace, but people have to take ownership. Like those that fell on the battlefields, they took ownership to provide and preserve freedom. And if you look at Afghanistan as a perfect example, the U.S. was there for 20 years protecting those people, making sure they got a chance to feel freedom. And as soon as the U.S. left, nobody picked up a stone, a rock, or anything to try to defend and fight for their own country. Freedom comes with a price, and it's going to take everyone to stand up to that obligation to fight for your own freedom. Then we'll have world peace.
Okay. And Susan has a quote here this morning. It says from Anonymous, "We don't know them all, but we owe them all." Any last words from Mr. Banks?
Yeah, well, I'd like to pick up where Andrew said there. I think what he said about, peace in the world. Well, if you go back, I guess, to the greatest book ever written, you'll see they were fighting each other back in those days, and it's just transpired up through. But I think if we are to preserve democracy, there has to be strength, and strength is the one thing I think that will help to preserve the democratic way of life, because as the world is sliding now, it appears that there may be another, I put it in simple terms, another Hitler approach on the horizon. And unless we got people, and I'll put it this way, people in Washington, in the White House, in number 10 Downing Street, and they would be the main one in Australia, that are willing to stand up and challenge these kind of approaches, then we could very well slide into a really, getting back to the dangers. I try to make this quickly. I spent actually about 11 months on an island in the middle of the Pacific, 6,000 feet long, 2,500 feet wide, isolated. I did not see a frog tail for I guess 6 or 7 months. Okay, and and we were dealing with nuclear armament at that time. So, but that was necessary to do this job. To find out where our best nuclear approach was.
It's a very vivid, very graphic description there, Mr. Banks. And that sounds like a song. Being in the middle of an island sounds like a Tony Bennett song. Anything for last words from you, Mr. Sidney?
I'm flabbergasted by that remark. I've never heard that in 20 years.
Bring back some memories there, eh?
well, Sid, that's an okay Manyan saying,
I did spend some time in remote areas, so in Vietnam and Korea, and also in Alaska in the boondocks. And it was a trying time at that time because of the Cold War, and then you could always see and hear of the Russian plane that was passing by over, going by near we were near the Aleutian Islands. So it was quite an interesting, but the good one was the frog tail. So I think I'll leave that one as a memory forever.
Okay, and on that note, we have to make way for the news. It's 2 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Can I say just one thing before we leave? I really don't want to leave out all our benefactors, all the sponsors that continue to support us each year. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. And especially a shout out to Ms. Oldie, who personally in the last 2 years has made up the downfall of the fact that we cannot throw the gala, which is 50% of our fundraising effort. She's such a sweet lady, and I want her to know that the veterans thank her immensely. And all of the rest of our sponsors. And the list goes on and on of the benefactors that come back year after year to take care of the aging veterans. Thank you all.
And thank you. I want to say thanks to Mr. Banks in the studio. Mr. Banks.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You gave me the job, and now I'm interviewing you. I'm on the other side of the table. Never thought that would happen.
The world evolves.
It does evolve. Andrew, I want to say thank you so much. Andrew is the CIVA president. He's a retired master sergeant of the U.S. Marine Corps, serving for 22 years and exactly 1 month. To the month, Andrew. And we want to say thanks to Mr. Paulie Banks. Mr. Banks was on the phone earlier with Andrew. He is the CIVA's vice president, and he served in Her Majesty's Royal Marines. And Mr. Banks in the studio. Mr. Banks, thank you. Mr. Banks Mr. Banks is a retiree from the United States Air Force. He served from 1956, 1960, and of course, on the phone as well right now, Mr. Sidney E. Banks. Mr. Sidney was also in the United States Air Force. Thank you, gentlemen, for all that you do and that you continue to do, and we wish you well as Remembrance Day comes. We'll commemorate on next Monday. All right, and next Monday is a holiday.
Well,
right?
Yeah, the weekend is the holiday,
but
and
we'll have
actually the 11th I think is coming up on Thursday.
On Thursday,
yes.
11th. Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much. Please stay safe, and I'm pretty sure you'll be back in the studio at some point in time with Mr. Banks. Susan, thank you so much. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center, Cayman Medical Supplies, and Optical Outlook. To our listeners and our viewers on YouTube, thank you so much.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by K-Man Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And K-Man Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Health City, now open at Camana Bay 7 days a week. Optical Outlook, now at their new location in Anderson Square. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. And Lee's Office Products Limited, at Paddington Place, Godfrey Nixon Way, moving your business forward.